Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're diving into something special, the top 10 JRPGs on Nintendo Switch of all time. The Switch has become a home for some of the best role-playing experiences of all time, from classic franchises to modern hits. Whether you're a longtime JRPG fan or someone looking to try the genre for the first time, this countdown should give you plenty of ideas for your next adventure. So let's jump right in. Octopath Traveller II is a turn-based JRPG that gives you 8 different characters to choose from, each with their own journey, skills, and reasons for traveling the world. The big hook here is the HD 2D art style, where the game mixes retro-style pixel characters with modern lighting and effects, creating a really unique look. In battle, you'll manage a system called Boost, which lets you stack attacks for bigger combos, and a break mechanic where you target enemy weaknesses to stun them and deal more damage. It's not just about grinding levels, but thinking ahead and setting up turns strategically. Each character has a path action which lets them interact with NPCs in different ways, like challenging someone to a duel, hiring them to fight with you, or even stealing from them. The world feels alive and reactive, making exploration rewarding. With layered stories, engaging mechanics, and a strong sense of style, it's a JRPG that balances nostalgia and fresh ideas.
I'll cut you.
What's our plan? My spear shall strike through!
Fire Emblem Three Houses is a tactical RPG that blends strategic battles with social simulation. You play as a professor at a military academy where you pick one of 3 houses of students to lead, train, and fight alongside. The bond you build with your students really matters because their growth in class affects how they perform in battle, and you'll see their personalities and relationships develop over time. Combat happens on grid-based maps where positioning, weapon advantages, and team coordination are key. You'll need to think about who pairs well together and how to approach each map's unique challenges. Outside of battles, you'll spend time teaching skills, upgrading equipment, and exploring the monastery where you connect with your students. The game has branching story paths depending on the house you choose, which adds replay value. It mixes strategy, character development, and emotional storytelling in a way that feels both challenging and personal.
Let's do it. Now.
Astral Chain is an action RPG with a futuristic, anime-inspired setting where humanity is under attack by creatures from another dimension. You play as a rookie in a special task force who fights using a living weapon called a Legion. The Legion is chained to you, and combat revolves around controlling both your character and your Legion at the same time. This creates fast-paced battles where you can chain combos, trap enemies with the chain itself, and mix melee and ranged attacks. Beyond fighting, the game also has detective elements where you investigate cases, explore futuristic cities, and interact with NPCs to uncover what's going on. Each Legion has different abilities that help both in combat and in solving puzzles in the environment, giving exploration a fun layer of variety. The flashy combat, mix of investigation, and unique dual control system make Astral Chain stand out as a Switch-exclusive action RPG with plenty of style. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is a massive open-world JRPG that takes place on the bodies of 2 titans frozen in battle. You control a group of heroes exploring these vast landscapes, filled with wildlife, quests, and enemies that range from small creatures to gigantic monsters that can take hours to defeat. The combat blends real-time positioning with auto attacks and special moves called arts, where timing and teamwork really matter. You'll also use a special ability called Visions that lets you see future enemy attacks, giving you a chance to react and change the outcome. The story follows Shulk and his friends as they fight against mechanical enemies called the Mechon. And while the setup feels straightforward at first, it becomes deeper and more emotional as you go on. This definitive edition updates the graphics, refines the combat UI, and even adds an epilogue story, making it the best way to experience this classic. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is a quirky RPG where everything looks like it's made of paper, but the humor and mechanics make it surprisingly deep. You control Mario as he sets out on a quest involving magical crystals and a mysterious door, teaming up with unique partners along the way. Combat is turn-based but interactive. You'll press buttons at the right time to block, dodge, or boost your attacks, which makes every battle more engaging than just selecting commands. The paper theme isn't just for looks. Mario can fold into different shapes, slip through cracks, or turn into a paper airplane to solve puzzles. The story is funny and lighthearted, but also surprisingly heartfelt, with plenty of memorable characters. On Switch, the remaster makes the visuals brighter, adds quality of life tweaks, and gives a new generation of players a chance to experience one of the best RPGs Nintendo has ever made. Pokemon Legends Arceus is a different kind of Pokemon game that mixes open-world exploration with classic catching and battling. Instead of gyms and a modern setting, this game takes you back to an older time where people are still learning about Pokemon. You explore large areas filled with wild Pokemon that can attack you directly, so sneaking through grass and using strategy to catch them feels much more immersive. You can craft items, complete research tasks, and build up the first Pokédex for the region. Battles are still turn-based, but faster, with a system that lets you choose between stronger but slower moves or quicker but weaker ones, adding a layer of decision-making. The sense of adventure is huge here, with Pokemon roaming naturally in the world instead of popping up randomly. It feels more like living in a Pokemon world than ever before, making it one of the most refreshing takes on the series. Persona 5 Royal is a stylish JRPG where you play as a high school student leading a double life. By day, you go to classes, hang out with friends, and manage your time wisely. By night, you enter strange worlds called palaces to fight corrupted enemies. Combat is turn-based and revolves around finding enemy weaknesses to knock them down and chain attacks together, creating a fast and tactical flow. You'll collect and fuse personas, which are like powerful beings that give you different skills and abilities, letting you customize your playstyle. Outside of combat, the social aspect is just as important. You spend time building relationships that directly boost your abilities in battle. The Royal version adds more content, new characters, and quality of life improvements that make it the definitive edition. With its mix of dungeon crawling, time management, and striking visuals, Persona 5 Royal feels like both an RPG and a life sim in one.
It's been a while since we last, but this time...
We're rolling deep into your
Persona! Go down!
Dragon Quest XI-S is a classic turn-based JRPG with a modern polish, offering a massive adventure filled with exploration, combat, and memorable characters. You play as the Luminary, a chosen hero on a journey across a colorful world that feels alive with towns, dungeons, and wide-open fields. Combat sticks to the traditional turn-based style, but with options to move your characters around in 3D space if you like. It's straightforward, but very strategic, especially as you unlock new abilities and spells. The definitive edition on Switch adds new story content, extra side quests, orchestrated music, and even the ability to play the entire game in a retro 16-bit style, which is perfect for fans of old-school RPGs. With its charming art by Akira Toriyama and a balance of humor and serious storytelling, Dragon Quest XI-S is both a love letter to the genre and an easy entry point for newcomers.
Fight, and fight some more!
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a massive JRPG that brings together the worlds of the previous games in a new story about two nations locked in endless war. You control a group of 6 characters who unite against the cycle of fighting, and the emotional story digs into themes of life, time, and freedom. Combat expands on the real-time system from earlier games, letting you control one character while the others fight automatically, but with layers of arts, combos, and special skills to manage. You can also fuse characters together in battle through a system called Ouroboros, which creates powerful transformations with unique moves. The open-world areas are huge, filled with quests, monsters, and secrets to find. With deep customization, cinematic cutscenes, and a long runtime, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is one of the most ambitious RPGs on the Switch, and a must-play for fans who want a story-driven adventure with plenty of strategy.
I might have the answer! Great! Everyone get ready!
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom redefine what an open-world RPG can be on Nintendo Switch. In Breath of the Wild, you explore a vast kingdom at your own pace, climbing mountains, gliding through skies, and discovering shrines that test your puzzle-solving and combat skills. The freedom is unmatched. You can approach challenges in countless ways, using tools, physics, and creativity. Tears of the Kingdom expands on this by adding new abilities like building machines, fusing weapons, and exploring floating islands high above the land, giving even more room for experimentation. Both games focus less on linear storytelling and more on player-driven discovery, where exploration itself is the reward. Together, they offer hundreds of hours of gameplay with breathtaking landscapes, hidden secrets, and endless ways to interact with the world. They're not just great Zelda games, they're two of the best adventures ever made. And that wraps up our list of the top 10 JRPGs on Nintendo Switch. From turn-based classics to massive open-world adventures, the Switch library is stacked with incredible role-playing experiences that can last you dozens, if not hundreds of hours. I'd love to hear what your favorite JRPG on Switch is. Did it make the list, or do you have another hidden gem you'd recommend? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to SwitchTop for more gaming content, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching!